Ready.
Ready? Okay. All right. I got the ready sign, so we're going to get this party started. Okay. Meeting's called to order. Welcome everyone to our City of West Miami regular City Commission meeting, hybrid meeting. Today is Wednesday, December 16th at 10 a.m. And just as a reminder, since we're talking about time, meetings going forward, beginning of January, we'll be back to 7:30 p.m. as it always was in the past before the temporary time change. Madam Clerk, if you could read the instructions on how to participate via Zoom.
Yes, Madam Mayor, good morning, everyone. This hybrid meeting is conducted pursuant to resolution approved by the City Commission on October 30th, 2020. The instructions to participate in the virtual commission meeting. The public may join the meeting via Zoom at https://zoom.us/j/3255236059. For remote public comments, the person wishing to submit the remote comments will appear on the City Commission on TV and will be afforded 3 minutes to speak. Please submit your first and last name for the record. The instructions to access the virtual commission meeting by phone, dial 1301-715-8592. When you connect, a machine will ask you for the meeting ID, then dial 325-523-6059, followed by the pound sign. Wait a few minutes until the host accepts and gives you access to the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. And please all rise for the invocation. Dear Lord, we ask for your blessing during this time of holidays. Holidays are usually a very stressful time. A lot of people struggle during the holidays, but especially this year. So we ask for your blessing upon all those who are struggling. Please give them the peace and serenity that they need and that they deserve. And we ask that you grant us the wisdom to always vote and think in the best interest of this wonderful city of West Miami. We ask this in your name. Amen.
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 Vice Mayor, will you
United States of America,
Of the United States of America,
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mayor Rhonda Rodriguez,
present?
Vice Mayor Eric Diaz-Padrón, present. Commissioner Candida Blanca is present. Commissioner Juan Blanes, present. And Commissioner Luciano Suarez,
Yes, present.
present. Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 4, presentation of minutes for approval for November 18, 2020, regular commission hybrid meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Item passes. Presentation of minutes for approval for November 25th, 2020, special commission hybrid meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? 5-0, item passes.
Thank you. Next item.
Item 5, public comments.
Has anyone?
I don't see anybody on the chat, neither on, I haven't received any request to appear on the public comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Throughout the meeting, Madam Clerk, if you get an email or a call or anyone wishing to speak, please let me know.
Yes, and if for any reason I don't see the person trying to speak, please let me know also.
I will definitely. I have to say something during public comments. I am honored to have a special guest in chambers this morning. He surprised me. Mr. Elliot Asbell has returned. Welcome, Elliot. Welcome back.
Thank
So
you.
happy to see you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Did you have anything to say during this time, Mr. Asbell?
Just briefly,
Okay, just all you have to do is approach the podium, the laptop is ready to go, and you know what to do from there. You don't have to touch anything, just start speaking.
first of all, happy to see on the screen the other staff members. Candidly, I'm here for basically two reasons. One,
Mr. Asbell, if I might interrupt you, remember, name and address for the record.
Elliot Asbell, and I'm going to give two. Normally, I would say 15345 Southwest 77th Court, Palmetto Bay, Florida, 33157. I am, for the record, going to state something that is legally factual. The present ownership of the stock in Sunnyside and West Haven Motel is no longer in the name of my wife. It was in her revocable trust. It presently, and I was a co-trustee with all the powers vested in that trust to act on her behalf or on my own behalf as long as she approved. The ownership now is in a different trust. It's in my daughter, Marlene Asbell, and she has in a trust 1/3 interest in Sunnyside Motel and West Haven. And again, I am, and my wife is, co-trustees in that trust. So I'm just saying that on the record. I really, if those know me, I'm modest and have for years introduced myself, no matter what my role was, as an individual. But I want to declare on the record, I know the city attorney, Pepe, would appreciate that I putting this on the record. So not looking for any additional respect or consideration, just looking to set the record straight. Again, I'm here primarily today, and I intend to go back to attending regular commission meetings. Two reasons. One, I have really missed seeing and dealing with the members on the dais, as well as the city manager and clerk, and Juan Pena and Pepe, Alanis, etc. That's the main reason. But two, I really wanted to start to keep myself updated as to what has been happening. I've heard some good things, but that's hearsay. And I'm one of those that prefer to have it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So I'm introducing myself today and saying to the commission and mayor and others that I intend to regularly attend meeting as I had previously for many years. Thank you, Madam Mayor, for recognizing me. And I really did not intend to speak, but you all know, if anything, I have a major fault. I talk too much.
Not a fault, and back. I am so happy to see you.
Thank you.
I don't think you were here when I said it, but the meeting's starting in January. We'll be back at 7:30 p.m. Okay?
Wednesday?
First and third Wednesday, yes, so that hasn't changed. And seven,
Thank you.
we're going back to 7:30.
For the notice, thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. Okay, great. Madam Clerk, I see no one else wishing to speak, so next item, please.
Item 6, report of the city manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and members of the City Commission. My report is going to be verbal, but I want to extend my my holiday message to you and to everyone in the audience and to staff and to the residents of the city. I wish everyone a healthy and happy holiday season. My prayers go out to those that have had a difficult 2020, and I think 2020 has affected all of us in more ways than one. So I am grateful for life. I am grateful for relationships and good friends. And obviously, I want to shout out to our department directors and to our employees that we wish them a very happy and blessed holiday season. With that said, I will have a very brief report. The plexiglass for the upstairs and for the passport office are on order. I hope that we will have them installed by the first city commission meeting on January 6th. As you may imagine, or can imagine, these vendors have been putting out plexiglasses and preparing the conditions for life with COVID. And so a lot of these vendors are a little bit behind schedule. I'm hoping that we can resume the meeting upstairs on January 6th with all of our safeguards built into it. That being said, the passport office, I'd like to just mention it is complete. It is bare because it is waiting for the plexiglass that has been ordered already. The furniture is in, a very modest countertop and a working area for the ladies or gentlemen, whoever winds up being there, the person that is assigned to that office come the first of the year. We have, that being said, we have canceled passport services, as you know, Madam Mayor and Vice Mayor and Commissioners, until such time we revisit this pandemic issue after the first of the year, and until that plexiglass is in. I think with the front office glass and the extension to the passport office, I feel it's going to protect our employees and, again, the members of the public from our employees. So I think it's going to have a dual role, if you would, a dual benefit. So I'm hoping that that too will be available up and installed early January. The city continues to deliver its meals to the residents. We are not in any shape, way or form ready to bring back our senior citizens. I believe that they are going to need a little bit more time. And I think that once the vaccine numbers start to, to basically basically give us some new statistical data, it would be a time to revisit the possible reopening of our community center and as well our after school care program. So we just have to take baby steps during this process. I spoke to Evelyn Paz, who's joining us in the meeting. Everything is going well, smooth. We're using staff to deliver the meals. And on the part of the recreation center, I spoke to John yesterday, and we're going to be closing our winter camp that we generally have every year. We're going to be closing for the 2 weeks where school will be in recess. We are averaging, John, I think you mentioned to me, we're averaging on a daily basis about 25 kids. We have not had any reports of any COVID cases involving our children at the City of West Miami Recreation Center. So that is excellent news. And John, thank you for a job well done in keeping these kids as much as apart as much as it's possible. So, and following their social distancing. Again, this program will resume in January after school starts. And hopefully these numbers will start to come down, which gives us an opportunity to revisit this. So I'd like to keep this on the agenda, as it's going to be an ongoing, ever-changing, if you would, report from the manager's office. And it will follow the county lead on this under the new norm manual. And it will follow other instructions by the Alliance for Aging. And in the case of the Recreation Center, the Coalition for Parks and Recreation. But we will keep you posted on that. I'm very happy to report that I just received last night the financial statements for our fiscal year ended September 30th, 2020. I was working with Mercedes on that, and we're going to give you a separate memo. I just want you to know that the report looks good. We're submitting all the information to our auditors now, and they are working remotely as well. So we're doing everything remotely, and that's the new way of life here. So I'll keep you posted on that, but I will give you a detail of the financial statements, and I think everyone will be pleased with that. That being said, that concludes our report for this meeting. And I look forward to 2021 being a better year for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Madam Clerk, next item.
Item 7, report of the city attorney.
There's no report by the city attorney.
Thank you, sir. Next item.
Item 8, report of the city engineer.
Mr. Alonso, you're up.
Is Frank?
Hey guys,
Oh,
sorry. Hold on, let me put my video on.
there you go. Hi, Frank.
Good morning, Madam Mayor, Commissioners, Madam Manager. Sorry about that. I was on a dueling meeting here. So in this new world of Zoom and Team and conference calls, where I'm usually juggling like 2 or 3 meetings.
You mean you can't do 2 Zoom meetings simultaneously? What's up with that?
Yeah. So I do have a report today. I shared a memorandum with that should be part of your package this morning, just kind of giving an update on all our ongoing projects. I do want to focus on the water main project just to give you all an update on where we're at. The memo that you have in your package, goes over the history of the project, kind of, the typical stuff of where we're at. The project limits. I think we're all familiar with what the limits are at this point. So I do just want to give a status on where construction's going. Construction's going exceptionally well. We started work at the intersection of Sylvania and 58, and they've been working their way down Sylvania. And I believe before the end of the week, they should be making that final tie-in down on 57th. So that's about 20% of the major water main work that's going in. So the contract is moving at a good speed. We've had very little issues out there. Just a couple minor changes that are typical of a construction project. We had a few changes in service size to some of the commercial properties that are out there, and we've connected most of the services that are along Sylvania. So project's going well. We're on schedule. In fact, I think we might even be a little bit ahead of schedule, so that's good. So I expect by the end of the year, I'm not sure which run the contractor is going to do next. Talking to them yesterday, I think they're probably going to go down 58th Avenue and run that main next. So our guys are monitoring the project, and things are going well so far. Other projects we have going on, just to kind of touch base on where we're at with things. The City Hall passport office and bathroom remodeling, I think it's pretty clear where we're at there. There's just some final touches to finalize that project, but the bulk of the work is already complete. I'm very happy with how things have turned out there. On the gym expansion, we're working on putting together that design criteria package. We had a meeting with the manager and Public Works a few weeks back to talk about the project and start getting this moving forward. So we're shooting to get this going by the beginning of the year. On the drainage projects, just to give an update, we did complete a couple projects during 2020. Project over on 13th Street and 65th Avenue, and project over on 12th. Those projects were completed on time and on budget, and we closed those out. I think we're just waiting on as-bills from the contractor, but the projects are essentially closed out. And then, as discussed in the previous commission meeting, we have an upcoming project on 66th Avenue, which we've provided proposals for, and I believe will be addressed in January's commission meeting, so we can Um, Finally, in my report, I had a note about just our ongoing water and sewer and NPDES compliance efforts that we do for the city every year. That's going to start now, starting for 2020, everything's been done. 2021, now we start on that cycle again of doing all the compliance reporting for water quality, sewer infiltration, the NPDES permits and all that for the city. So that'll start again with this year's cycle coming up as well. So that concludes my report. If there's any questions, any concerns about the water project in particular, I can take those questions now.
Any questions for Mr. Alonso? Frank, I just want to thank you for a very comprehensive report. Excellent. I'm loving all the things that are underway and going on. Finally, thank you for that report.
Madam Mayor, may I ask a question? Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. After the commission asks or discusses the report, if I may ask a question?
Someone else has a question, go right ahead.
Thank you. Frank, and what I would like to do is coordinate these items that are pending and coordinate their agenda, presentations, and with the written proposals and all the estimates and everything. If you would let me know and keep Penna and I in the loop into, how far along you are, so that we can schedule the proper agenda item in the upcoming meetings.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. And thanks for the report.
Clerk, next item, please.
Item 9, committee reports, report of the mayor.
Do you have any committee reports? Okay, I do. And the first thing I want to report on, because I do have the city attorney present in this meeting. I spoke to him about a week ago, and he advised me that he was not going to be at our first meeting in January 6th, but for a very good reason. And I want you all to know our city attorney and his wife will be celebrating their 60-year wedding anniversary on January the 6th. So I think that it is amazing. And I was going to say it in that meeting, but I wanted to say it now when he's here so that he knows, just how wonderful we all think that is. 60 years, Mr. Attorney, that is absolutely wonderful. And in this day and age, that's an amazing accomplishment. So my hat's off to you, sir. And I wish you and your wife many, many, many more years.
Well, thank you very much. I have a special gift for my wife. I have a Congressional Medal of Persistence and to put up with me for so long.
Okay. Okay. And
That's about it. It's been. It seems that it was day before yesterday. So
right. Time flies. Yes, when you're having fun, time flies. And Mr. Attorney, you mentioned to me last week you also received some other recognition, and forgive me, I failed to remember what exactly you received. Some special recognition also last week. You told me.
Well, the Cuban American Bar Association has become one of the most powerful bar associations in, as a matter of fact, in Florida. We have members of our Cuban American Bar Association with the Board of Governors of the state of Florida. We have had several appointees and elected officials in the tune of judges. We have more women judges now in the Cuban American Bar than ever. I was one of the first. In fact, I was the first appointee to the board that selects judges. And in my term, the first Afro-American judges were selected back 40 years ago. The first women, Cuban Americans, were elected. So therefore, the Cuban American Bar Association selected me to be the past president of the year. And I was very honored by that. And at the same time, I think that we have come a long way from a little community of lawyers to a really influential organization within the judiciary. And we were recognized by the chief judge as well. So I think that, and something that is very important, I'm a member of I'm the chair of the grievance committee of the Florida Bar, which rules on the conduct of lawyers. So it has been very honored. I've been very honored. Thank you.
Congratulations, they're very well deserved. I know you're very humble. You weren't going to say that, so I took the liberty of mentioning that. So congratulations, sir. I also want to, during this time of my report, thank my fellow commissioners, my vice mayor. All of our accomplishments were not lost. And I was thinking about this the other day. We have been able to accomplish so much this past year, working together. Obviously, the greater good of the city of West Miami in mind. And I just want to go over a few things that I want to be sure you remember and you know that we did together. And I'm so proud of this team and how well we worked together. The first thing that's very near and dear to my heart is we were able to build our reserves. I've been looking to do that ever since I've been sitting up here, and we did it, folks, ladies and gentlemen. We built our reserves, just like our auditors told us every single year when they stood in front of us and stressed the importance of building our reserves well. We accomplished that this past year. We also finally properly staffed our police department. We've had to have done that for a long time coming, and we finally accomplished that. Our potable water project, we broke ground on our potable water project after going to Tallahassee for many, many years. Also, we had that under our belt. We accomplished that together. We were able to add on to the City Hall front office. Again, all this was working together, and working so well together. We gave back during COVID with our gift cards, which was huge. We planted trees with grant money. We planted all those trees at Cooper Park, and I see that we're still planting trees throughout the city. We resurfaced our basketball court for that grant. Finally, we installed that curb in front of Publix after so many years of trying to get that. We finally were able to do that together.
That was good.
We completed Garden Club. It's ready. Got the bathrooms there. It's up and running. So that was another accomplishment of this great commission that I have. Cooper Park's got new benches and tables. Our police Ludlam detail was activated, which was a great thing. And we could have done that if we didn't work together so well. Yes, we had our discussions, but all in all, we worked together for the greater good of West Miami, and everything we did, it's not lost. And I just wanted to thank you all for working together. And none of this would have been possible without our employees and our staff. So yes, we're the legislative side of this team, and we gave the blessing on all these things to be done, but we were the ones that actually put the labor in and got it done. So none of this would have happened if not for our amazing City of West Miami employees and staff. So just a thank you from the bottom of my heart to our police department, our rec center staff, our community center staff, public services, front office. You made all of that possible with us. So I thank you, and I'm sure I probably missed some things. So if Madam Manager, Mr. Penna, if you think of something I didn't think of, and you want to add that now, because it was a great year, despite of COVID-19. We got all that done. So I'm just so proud of my commission and everything that we were able to do together. So did I miss anything, Mr. Penna?
Christmas tree at Cooper Park.
Oh, yes, we put the tree up at Cooper Park now. That's right. Thank you. Yes. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. So thank you for that, Madam Manager. Anything you think of that might have slipped my mind, or anybody, Commissioner, Vice Mayor, anything I
No.
missed?
I think you've covered everything very thoroughly. And I echo your sentiments from our perspective, from the administrative side. Thank you. And thank you for your continued support.
Thank you. I'm very proud of our employees. I'm very proud of my colleagues for all that we were able to get that together. So that's it for my report, Madam Clerk. Next item.
Item 10, unfinished business, none today. Item 11, under new business agenda items. Item 11A, report/recommendation by the Office of the City Manager on the possibility of phasing in certain senior citizens activities.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I think we want to keep this on the agenda, or maybe pull it from the agenda and bring it back at a moment in time where we believe that things are changing for the better, that we would be ready to bring back our seniors and phase them in slowly but surely, because this is going to be quite a transition. But I do want to thank our community center director, Evelyn Paz, today for her. I got to tell you, I think that this lady stepped into a director's position at a critical moment in time. And she's been working with our seniors, staying in touch with our seniors. I mean, at her level, she's a director, and this lady has stepped in and delivered meals alongside with her staff. And they call our senior citizens continuously to make sure that they're doing well. So I think that Evelyn has done a wonderful, wonderful job. And I think she should be recognized in the near future because she has earned it. So that being said, after speaking with Evelyn, I think we should remove this item from the agenda until such time we have a solid recommendation on phasing our seniors in slowly but surely.
Very good, Madam Manager. I agree. Is anyone opposed to pulling this and having the manager report on this later down the road? I have no one opposed to that, Madam Manager, so that's exactly what we'll do, bring this back up at a future meeting. And I echo your sentiments and words about Evelyn and the community center. They took a very bad situation and made it wonderful. Those meals go out to our seniors every day, and our rec center staff jumped in to pitch in and help. So between the community center staff and the rec center staff, they came in and they're just doing a phenomenal job. So we all thank you. And your staff are, like I said, you're making a difficult situation just a little brighter. So for that, we thank you. And John, thank you for lending your staff over. Working together is the right thing done. So thank you for that. Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item 11B, update report on the ridership and the use of the freebie on-demand service and recommendation to increase hours consistent with the demand and best use of the PTP, People Transportation Plan, and FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation Award of Grant by City Manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I see Jason on the call. And happy holidays to you, Jason, as well here. I had a conversation with Jason just the other day, and he provided us with some updated numbers that I think are going to be music to our that are already music to our ear, and shows again that the ridership is increasing, steadily increasing, and that people are very welcoming of the freebie service in the city of West Miami. That being said, I'm also very happy to report that the Florida Department of Transportation has advised us.
And then after that, how long do you think it'll be?
Commissioner Blanes, please.
I'm sorry. May I continue? Okay. So we spoke the other day, Jason and I spoke the other day, and I briefed Mr. Penna, and I believe that I have briefed the commission and advised you that the Florida Department of Transportation will be awarding the city of West Miami a grant in the amount of, I believe, was $32,000 to help us subsidize the expense associated with the freebie service. That being said, I spoke to Jason and Juan about increasing the service during those peak hours where residents appear to be using this service. I believe that the $32,000 or $36,000, which we don't have the actual grant agreement in hand yet, but I believe that that will cover, as well as future advertisement costs, will help us keep and contain costs associated with the freebie service. So that being said, we talked about the possibility of extending, I believe we spoke about Friday night, extending an hour. And we also spoke about extending an hour on Saturday morning with the service. If I am not mistaken, I think that's
I think on Friday, we talked about 2 hours to 9 p.m.
2 hours. There we go. Okay, thank you for correcting that. And that's based on volume, the utilization of service. And I think that come the spring, and we had this conversation, we may have to extend our evening hours during the week, because we're going to have, obviously, you know, it'll be sundown much later than now, and people tend to go to the park with their kids, do their shopping, and there's more daylight until later. But for now, I think the 3 hours a week will be a welcoming added feature to the program. Jason advised us that we went from the last report, I think you mentioned we went from 149 riders to 299, if my memory serves me, and the paperwork is in your agenda packet.
Yep, that is correct. And even in December right now, we're seeing even higher numbers. So that, you know, we'll be in the 300s for December going into the new year. So we're just seeing an increase over increase each month, which is a great thing.
This is a wonderful thing. So I would encourage the commission to authorize us to add the 3 hours a week for now, and then revisit it before the spring, so that we can, you know, plug in the hours as necessary or modify the schedule as necessary. Jason will be sending out, and we wanted to come to this meeting to have you approve all of this. Jason is going to be sending out a mailer, which we're going to provide the labels for, to the community, because not everyone is in tune with social media, and not everybody has access. I think this service may be appealing to our senior citizens who are not on Facebook and don't visit our website, and it'll reach others that we're presently not capturing them because of their limited ability to connect to the internet and to social media and to our city website. So I'm also happy to report that Jason mentioned that while we, at the beginning, he had no potential for advertisement, I believe there's some nibbles along the way now on this, for this service, that for merchants in the area that are interested in purchasing advertisements. So the grant, the advertisements, they're all gonna pitch in to help the city maintain costs within budget for this great service.
That is fantastic. Jason, thank you. Welcome. Did you have anything to add to what the city manager has reported?
No, I mean, other than, you know, as I mentioned before, the service is increasing week after week, month after month, which is a great thing. And if you see in your agenda packet there from last month, I mean, one thing I do want to point out is that every single ride that was taken, the users rated the ride, the feedback 5 out of 5. There wasn't one person that did not rate it anything less than 5 stars, which we don't see that anywhere. I mean, you know, we give lots and lots of rides, but that's a great thing. That means the people that are using the service are really appreciating it. And now it's just, again, continuing to get the word out there, which we're doing, and it's building. And we're excited to get this mailer out there. We made the changes that were requested last council meeting by making the phone number larger. And I know the Madam Manager wanted to wait until you guys approve the new hours so we can add those to the mailer and get that out as soon as possible.
Jason, thank you. And I have to say, I have only heard positive things about it. Everyone loves it, and I have constantly promoted it. So yes, everyone is very, very, very happy with the service. So thank you for putting your best foot forward, and your employees are wonderful. And like I said, I have not heard not one negative thing. Everything has been positive. So
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
actually, they're all 5 stars from what I'm hearing. So thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions for Jason? Any questions on the report?
I make a motion to approve this.
Okay. Well, we don't need a motion, but thank you for that. If this was just a report, but thank you, Commissioner. All in favor of the new hours? Now, Jason, before you put that flyer out, Madam Manager, you're going to see that flyer, right? The finished product? Or is it-
Yes.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, after today, if you all like where this is going and approve the additional hours, Jason will send a revision to the flyer. And I have another recommendation that maybe he can include for future reference is hours will be modified as necessary in the near future, or something to that effect. So, you know, so that he can continue to maintain the same flyer without having to send out mailers all the time. So that's all I would encourage for him to add, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Hours are subject to revisions or modifications as we move along.
Motion to approve this.
We move forward. Jason and Madam Manager, I mentioned this earlier on, and I want to see, you know, hopefully we can continue this. I know you said we're getting nibbles for advertising, which is wonderful. That's where we want to go. But I want to be sure that we maintain our logo on the vehicle in addition to the advertising. I don't want to lose our logo's presence on the vehicle. So just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner, for your motion. All in favor of going forward with the new hours and the flyer Jason's going to put out? All in favor?
Yes, aye.
Anyone opposed? I have no one opposed. Madam Manager, proceed with Freebie and enhancing this great service that we're able to offer to our residents.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item, please.
Item 11C, request by Mayor Rodriguez to revisit the original submitter for projects denied by the CARES Act and recommendation by the city manager on the possible implementation of same by the Office of the City Manager by Mayor Rodriguez.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. My colleagues, I was on a call with the manager, a Zoom call from the county about the CARES money, and some restrictions were relaxed, and Commissioner Hardiman put through a resolution so that the monies that were, the CARES monies would be a little easier utilized. So I talked with the manager about her possibly revisiting some of the programs we put through at the beginning that were denied, and the monies were a little bit more difficult to be spent. So I asked her to look back at that, at the projects that we submitted, and see if we could revisit some of them now that, you know, the rules have been relaxed. So I'm going to let her provide you the details, but I realized right away we needed to jump on this quickly because it has to be, time is of the essence. So I asked her to put some details together to present to you all. So with that, Madam Manager, I'm going to yield to you to explain exactly what I'd like to do if possible.
Yes, ma'am. And I want to go back to December 10th. I believe that was the date of the meeting, the Zoom call where Ed Marquez from Miami-Dade County addressed mayors and city managers and finance directors on the easing up of the regulations, which basically in a nutshell is what the resolution that's called the Hardeman resolution speaks to the issue of easing up of the rules. And basically what that resolution did is allowed cities to move money where they, for approved projects, where they had not achieved their goal, the full potential of their projected expenses as of the end of December 30th. And so that being said, what we did was we had an expectation or a budget forecast that we were going to spend X amount of dollars, let's say, by using our recreation center employees and assign them to the task of delivering the meals to the city of West Miami seniors and the District 6 surrounding area. That being said, we are not going to use all the money that was intended for that service, because their hourly rate of pay and their benefits is not that much. So what we had is we recaptured, if you would, or reallocated those surplus funds, and now we moved them into our police department allocation, because the Hardeman resolution also, and the intent of that resolution will allow cities to seek reimbursement for first responders without having to really come up with a big justification plan, if you would. And that being said, I sent out an email yesterday to the mayor and city commission as of yesterday afternoon, all the monies that we have either received from CARES, some allocations that are in the pipeline to be reimbursed, some are under validation and review process. And as of this morning, that chart that I sent you yesterday afternoon actually was revised to increase by another $89,000. So as of this morning at 7 a.m., when I got my email from Haggerty, which is the consultant for Miami-Dade County, I'm happy to report that the city will have in total reimbursements, which is a little bit more than what I reported yesterday, a total of $489,000. And that includes police salaries for all officers for actual time worked. It does not cover overtime expenses. That would be FEMA at a later moment in time. After we're done with CARES, we would have to go after FEMA to see if we're able to seek some of the expenses that CARES has not covered. So I am happy to report that we will be recuperating, if you would, all the time spent by our law enforcement agency, our recreation center staff, while on loan to the community center, all the protective glasses and plexiglasses that have been ordered, and our sanitizing needs, as well as our laptops that we have purchased for the purpose of conducting our Zoom meetings and our hybrid meetings and everything that has come with a COVID mandate. So Mayor, it was after that meeting that you requested via email on December 10th that we revisit some of these programs that were initially applied for but not approved. You will recall that we applied for grants for businesses, water credits to city residents, and I think that's the one you and I have spoken about over the last few days, that you really want to, let's just say you want to hone in and try to help our citizens. And I know that other members of the city commission were very much in favor of this program at the onset, but then it kind of lost the momentum because CARES would not cover it. So you've asked me to look into it. I have. And you've asked me to see if we can issue a credit to the citizens of the city of West Miami. And while it's not going to come from CARES, we have built enough reserves, Madam Mayor, and we've been able to accrue some money as of the end of September 30th, 2020. I spoke to Luli last night, and I don't know if she's on the call, but she should be. I spoke to her last night. She provided me with her accrual report. And we have $140,000 set aside from accrual monies, which is basically actual revenues over expenses where we can give back to the residents if that is the wish of this commission for the water department. So
let me add in, and I thought we discussed this is gonna go to every water account, so to be residents.
that's what you spoke to me. That's what you spoke to me about. You wanted to give back not only to the residents, you wanted to extend it to our businesses as well.
So every water account. Okay, perfect. I just want to be sure that that I mentioned that. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So so that it's understood, this is not going to come back from CARES, but we have received enough revenue from CARES that are offsetting some of our expenses that were in the budget, particularly the police department. And so we have built a comfortable reserve, as I mentioned early on during my verbal report. We have built a nice pot of money where we could potentially give back to the residents if that is the wish of the commission.
Madam Manager, you said you were going to get back to me on what amount you thought we could give.
Yes. Yes, and after speaking to Mercedes last night, we actually agree that anywhere from $50 to $75 will be a comfortable amount of money, and it's within that range that we have accrual dollars available to give back to the residents.
And
now,
when can we do? When will that take place? When will we be able to credit the accounts?
Well, I would have to talk to Ileana, but I think we can probably work with a batch of bills going out during the month of January or the very 1st of February, because we have to enter an adjustment. We actually have to enter an adjustment if you decide to go with a one-time credit, we would have to enter that adjustment into the system. So once the bills are printed, it's going to show a one-time COVID related, if you would, credit to the residents. So I would have to get with her and see what modifications we need to make, but I am sure that we can accomplish this during the month of January, early February.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Are there any questions or comments on this item?
I have a question for the manager.
Yes, go right ahead, sir.
Can you all hear me? Hear me good?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so is this a good talking tone right here?
Yes.
I'm having problems with audio.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure everyone can hear me so I don't talk 3 times like in previous meetings. Can everyone hear me fine at this level of talking?
I can.
Okay, that's good. The money that we're talking about here is not from the CARES Act, correct? It's from where?
Reserves.
It's from reserves. What is the hit to reserves so that we all know?
What is the what?
The hit to the reserves in order to
the hit to the accrual account and reserves, everything we've taken into consideration. We're talking about a sum of 140,000 that we've already set aside for the potential of this approval today, or for the expectation of the approval.
So we're gonna take
Now, if you take this amount of money and divide it into 1,850 water accounts, give or take, am I correct, Mr. Penna? 1,850 accounts, you're talking about $75 of potential credit to the account, to each account.
That's it. I think everyone here knows that I would have rather lowered the millage with that reserve, but I think that the ultimate goal is to give back to the residents, so I'm in favor. Like I said, I just wanted to make sure that I knew where the money was coming from, and is there any impact to the water I know our code talks about waterworks revenue having the waterworks department have to be self-sustaining from the waterworks revenue? Is there any issues with that?
Well, what it does is basically that's a net loss in revenue that you're going to have at the end of the fiscal year, but you're going to make it up with the transfer from general fund to the water department for that amount of money that you are seeking to give back to your residents by way of a credit. So we've taken that into account pending this discussion and a possible approval today. And the money would be taken, and what happens here is 3 months prior to the end of the fiscal year, the commission allows by resolution the manager to make interdepartmental transfers. That means that you all, and it's basically a housekeeping yearly item where the manager is authorized to transfer money from funds to make sure that our funds wind up where possible on a positive note. So we would know now, or you would know now before you make this approval or consider approving this credit, that we would have to transfer those $140,000 as a revenue to the water department enterprise fund, because you're going to have that much expected loss in water sales because you're going to give out a credit. So it'll all be worked out. If you approve it under those conditions, that you understand that you would have to give me the authority to then transfer the money prior to the closure of this present fiscal year that we're in now.
Thank you, Madam Manager. And just a point of clarification, this is a one-time credit, correct? Madam Manager?
That's what you and I spoke about, Madam Mayor. I don't know how you want to structure this, but yes, it would be a one-time credit.
Okay. And
I have a question.
ultimately, this money was generated from our COVID-19 reimbursements. That's how we came about this money. Is that correct?
As of September 30th, we had received revenues from CARES reimbursements, and it helped us build a little bit further our reserves. Yes.
So it's coming out of reserves, but it came from our COVID-19.
The proceeds came.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that I clarified
Yes.
that. Okay.
I have a question, Mayor, I have a question.
Commissioner Suarez, go right ahead, sir. Go ahead, Commissioner.
All right, my question is this, after I heard all the facts, the manager, Yolanda, are you recommending this, the approval for this?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, I make a motion to approve this.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't need a motion, but do I have a second to Commissioner Suarez's motion?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. I have no one opposed, Madam Manager, so please proceed with that $75 one-time credit to every water account in the city of West Miami.
Thank you. And I think we should notice the residents. I think we should prepare like a little notice from the mayor and commissioners,
Great.
you know, that this happened today so that they know what they should be expecting.
Wonderful. Now, see, I can add that to our list of accomplishments.
There you go.
Thank you all for that. It's not a lot, but it's the least we could do. So I'm glad that we were able to provide this credit to our residents, or to every water account, including the business. Okay, next item, Madam Clerk.
Yes, item 11D, request by Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón to offer a second round of Publix gift cards using approved $77,000 of unused Publix gift cards before the CARES deadline, December 30th, 2020, by Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón.
Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
All right, I'll let the manager handle most of the talking on this, but if, Madam Manager, when you speak on this, can you please clarify that whether the money that I'm talking about, the 77,000, is already allocated for this program?
Yes, Vice Mayor.
So it is. So what we're talking about is using basically free money from the federal government, distributed by the county, to try to push more of this money out to our residents, right?
That is correct, sir. And what happened was we had a first go around as we discussed, Vice Mayor, with the public's card, and I don't
If I could interrupt you 1 moment, I wanted to say this before you got started. I'm sorry you started really quick. I was wondering if I could ask the Vice Mayor for I'm not sure if I should call it a friendly amendment or a friendly suggestion to his item. If we might consider doing a Visa gift card as opposed to a Publix gift card, because it's more widely used. It can be used for many different things that our residents might be in need of. So I just want to put that out there before you started. And so go right ahead.
I think it's better. So to the mayor's point, to me, it really doesn't matter whether it's Publix or Visa. I think obviously Visa is more versatile, but the point is to make sure that it gets out. So if when we're talking at the table here, if we're gonna ask the manager to go out and start this program up again, when we say that if she can't find an answer to that question by, I don't know, end of today, that she just goes to the Publix to prove, because I know that there's a deadline that we have to get these cards out.
I think that's wonderful. That's great.
So yeah, but Madam Manager, if you can figure out, make sure that you would get reimbursed for, or that we would get approved for that.
Right.
It doesn't really matter to me what cards go out. What matters to me is that the most money that we can allocate straight to the residents, from the federal government through the county, is what I want to see. So if by the end of today you can't get a clear answer on whether you're able to do a different gift card, then let's roll with the Publix. I think would be my recommendation, and I'll yield to the commission and yourself as to see what you guys want to do.
That's a great idea. I think that's fine. Go ahead, Madam Manager. What is?
Okay, so basically what I did last night is I contacted one of our bankers at City National Bank, and we're going to be sending them an email right after this meeting to see if they're a merchant for Visa, MasterCard, and the big credit card service company, to see if they can go ahead and acquire those cards on our behalf, and then we would, use the money and purchase these. I don't know if you want to reconsider amounts. With $77,000, you can actually purchase 385 cards in the amount of $200 each. I don't know whether you want to change the allocation and maybe go out and reach more people, or if you want to keep it at less people and increase the amount on the card. It's up to however you deem we can best use the $77,000. I'm open to it.
I mean,
Let's discuss it. Go ahead.
The only issue, I would like to increase the allocation, but I would rather increase the allocated amount than increase the people, because we've already shown that we're not going to be able to get a large number of people in this time. We saw what we were able to do in the last round, right? How much was expended in the last round?
We bought gift cards at a discount. Publix gave us a $913 discount. Evelyn, am I correct? So we bought. Okay, she's nodding her head. Yes.
Sorry, yes, correct.
How many cards did we give out? How many cards?
Okay, we gave out 165.
How many?
160.
160.
How many do we have left at the current price tag? How many do we have left at the current allocation? If we were to go the same exact numbers on a second round, how many cards would we have left to give up?
385.
So I definitely think that lowering the amount, increasing the amount of card, lowering the amount of the card and increasing the amount of cards is probably not the route to go, because we just probably won't get to that number and we'll have to get money back. I don't necessarily say we change it. I don't know. I'll defer to my colleagues on that. It's, I just want to make sure that we get as much of the money out into the street as possible.
Yeah, we don't want to leave any money on the table, that's for sure. We don't want to give any money back.
So
Commissioner.
if you increase it, and this is only for your consideration, if you decide to increase the amount on the card to 250 instead of 200, you can actually reach 308 families.
I think, as opposed to how many cards again?
The first proposal would entertain 385 families.
Well, that might be a route to go.
I'm sorry, $250 per card would be how many cards?
If you divide $77,000 into the $250 amounts, you can reach out to 308 families.
Wasn't the first round $250 as well, or was it 200? It was 200. Okay, so
200. Are at the 250
okay
level right now, correct?
Yeah. Commissioners, any questions or comments or suggestions on this? I'd love to hear from everyone. It seems a good idea. Okay, Commissioner Blanca likes the idea of 250 cards. I mean, $250 cards. We'd have 308 of them. Commissioner Blanes, Commissioner Suarez, did you have anything you want to say or add to this discussion?
The 250.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Go ahead, Commissioner Blanes.
To qualify, I guess the same qualification requirements will apply, right?
The same criteria that we use, the families would have to sign an affidavit, basically signing and attesting to the fact that they have had difficulties due to COVID. Same criteria. We would probably, if we go the gift card, a major credit card like Visa or MasterCard, whatever, we would probably have to change our forms between today and tomorrow. And and if you like the same criteria that was used, and I think that's going to be the most appropriate one for the reimbursement by CARES, and we want to be very cautious because this program will be under scrutiny, no doubt about it. And I just don't want next year to roll in and an audit comes in through the pipeline, and I don't want to have to come back to you and let the commission know that we would have to give money back. That's not the intent. We want to use it correctly.
Thank you, Madam.
The other question is, once they receive a gift card, they're not allowed to, will they be allowed to receive another one or no? Or
well, the criteria that we used for the prior Publix program was 1 per household.
So does that mean, well, what does that mean?
Well, that means basically only 1 member of each household will be approved for the gift card. And I got to tell you again, Evelyn Paz was charged with the administration of the program, and she did an outstanding job at verifying either if the person was a tenant or a homeowner, and verified all the information and requested valid IDs and everything. And she went back through every application to make sure that we were not giving a card out to 2 people living under the same roof.
That's what I was going to say. We need to make sure that we get this right, because as you just alluded to, you know, we don't want to be in a position where we have an audit and now, you know, we have to, you know, return the money. So
yeah. Well, she did a fantastic job. Actually, she wound up disqualifying some folks that had, you know, that had applied for another Publix card and lived under the same roof. I mean, this is not a nice thing to do, but we had to do it. And yeah. She did an outstanding job with the supervision of the program.
Yeah, I believe we all want to help. And, you know, I'm all for it, and as all my colleagues are, but we need to make sure that we do it right. And the people that are really needy and need the help will
correct. Correct.
Thank you, Commissioner. As a point of clarification then, Madam Manager, those that have already received the first batch of cards, they are not eligible to get the second batch, right?
It's up to you, however way you want to design the program, Madam Mayor.
Well, if it's one card per household, we've already given out, I don't know however many cards. So those persons cannot come and apply for an additional Publix card. Why not? It's one per household. That's the criteria. Am I right?
Right.
You can formulate your own criteria. It's up to you the way you want to design the program. It's a point very well taken. I can find out whether CARES, I mean, I can contact Haggerty and find out whether the same household member can, or the same address, it's gonna, whether they can qualify to receive a second card.
And the Vice Mayor has something. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
So we're increasing the amount to 250 from 200, right?
Correct.
Now, there's people who initially apply, and I'm assuming a lot of these people are some of the people most at need, because they made an extra effort to apply the first time at 200, right? So now the second round of people are to get 250. Is there anything we can do? And I know this is create some administrative nightmares, but maybe we can get organized. Is there anything we can do for the people who already got it at 200? Now they come back and they say, you know, you're giving 250 out now, but I've already gotten my card, so I'm not eligible, right? Is there anything we can do to at least give them a $50 card? I know we pre-order the cards, right? So we don't get them at that moment, right? So we could technically request a $50 card instead of a $250 card on certain ones, right?
Right, we would have to actually call them back and say, we have an extra $50 incentive as part of the program that we can apply to you, so that it will be, and we have the data. Evelyn kept a very good record of it. We have contact information, and we can call them and let them know that they would be eligible for an extra $50. Yes.
I think that would be fair.
And that way it will be equally distributed, you know, for everyone, the amount.
You know, that was a great point to bring up. You know, I think we need to be across the board, you know, very equitable here. You know, make sure that everybody benefits the same way. You know, I'm pretty sure the attorney might even have something to say about this. So, you know, if one person gets 250, then, you know, the other person needs to get 252, because, you know, I mean, it doesn't sound fair. It doesn't sound right. So.
Yeah.
Agreed. Or
bring that up, Vice Mayor.
Agreed. Or we open it up and say everyone's eligible.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go that route too.
I like that one better.
It depends on what we all want to do. So I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, we're the ones setting the criteria, right, Madam Manager? It's not up to
set the criteria. You set the criteria, or you may want to leave it at $200 and reach out to 385 families. And that way you can reach out to a greater number of residents.
Well, there's several things we can do. We can do what that was a good suggestion. We contact the people that got the 200 and tell them there's an additional $50 here for them if they'd like to come and pick it up. Okay. And in doing that, we limit them from the new 250 card. Okay, so if you got your 200, you can come back and get 50. Okay, then it leaves all the other cards for new people or new applicants. Okay, or we open it up and put no restriction. If you got one, you can. If you want to come and fill out another affidavit, you can get it again. But there's 3 different things we can do. It's up to us. So. I'm open to conversation on this.
I think us as a commission, we basically have to make a determination whether we believe there are 300 additional families or individuals that need assistance that didn't apply in the first round, that just didn't know about it, right?
They knew about it. It was all over.
You know, that's a good question, actually. Commissioner Blanca brings a good point. How many people, and this is anecdotal, I know you didn't keep numbers on it, but how many people have come after our round already closed and asked, Hey, do you still have gift cards? Is there a number, I mean, a ballpark?
I think Evelyn can respond to that.
After our program did close, we did receive people out front. We did receive phone calls. So I'd say about a good 30 residents phoned in reference to opening it up again. What's the possibility? So we did have people saying that we didn't have enough information out there so they could all have an opportunity to apply. So
And
benefit of the doubt.
Their contact information to be able to call them? Do we know who they were? Did we get their?
I did not, but I told them, as the county was telling us when we called 311, to keep their eyes and ears posted to radio, to social media, that once the commission or the county made a decision, I'm sure that we would follow that lead to open it up again. But I did not, because they, when we were closed out front, there was a line of people there waiting, asking questions, because they were coming from the county over here, thinking this was West End Park, and it was really City of West Miami.
Right,
So that's
right,
where I
right.
was able to reach and speak to them, that I did not get any contact information. I did know that a lot of the constituents that did come here came from the trailer area.
Oh, good, okay,
From the
good.
trailer park.
I actually was getting 50-50 response. Because I told a lot of people. There were those that were extremely grateful, and they did come and apply. And there were those that said, they thanked us very much, but they said, listen, I really don't need it, and I want to leave it for the people that do. So I had a 50-50 response, which I thought was great.
And I particularly think, Madam Mayor and Vice Mayor, this is your item. Going on the radio may create mass confusion. I would stay away from that, because I don't think we have enough money allocated toward the program. And people from other municipalities, like Evelyn just mentioned, may wind up here and get their hopes up. I think we need to keep it local and do the best that we can for outreach, and hopefully we can rely on the commission's contact with your constituents on this, and have people come in and apply. I think this should be a very localized program.
If I could just close out and make a recommendation, and we'll
Yes,
take
go
a
right
vote
ahead.
on it.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Mayor, I have a recommendation.
Have Suarez get the recommendation first.
Okay, Commissioner Suarez, go ahead, sir.
I think the manager and Evelyn, they should get together and try to get at our residents the most amount, the most resident that can be benefits. That will be the program. Because we will be discussing all day, we are not reach anything.
Yeah,
Try to do with the most of our residents, and that's it.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Vice Mayor has something to say. Go ahead, Vice Mayor.
I agree with Commissioner that we would be all day. I think we should close this out. So where I'm split is where Commissioner Blanca says we should increase it to the whole thing around again, and there's merit to that, obviously. What I fear is that there's another round of people that weren't in the first program that will then be cut off because the people that originally applied come back and take the cards again.
Okay.
So that's where I'm split. They're both reasonable. I think it's reasonable to assume that maybe there's not that many people and that same people need more money. So I think we should just basically right now kind of take a vote on it, a straw vote, I guess, because I think the manager has to. I don't think it's a motion, but it's a straw vote amongst us. It's up to you. You're the chair.
Vice Mayor, I like your suggestion, and Commissioner Blanes liked it as well, that we contact those that received the 200 and tell them we have an additional $50 for them. That would equalize it across the board. And then that makes them ineligible for the next, additional $250.
How many people are going for the next one?
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
Absolutely, brother. I completely, I agree with what you're saying. I really do fear that now that other programs have come up from the time we had it, like Hialeah City, Miami has expanded their program massively since then. More people are finding out that cities are giving stuff out, and I feel that the people who first came are gonna have a kind of extra advantage and then take away from the people who now come and get it for the first time. And that you know, that fear to me is kind of holding me back. I do think, obviously, as we all kind of agree, that if we go the route for the 250 and close the program, that the people obviously should get the $50.
Okay.
But that's sort of where I'm at.
All right.
You know,
Let's put that on the table then. And like I said, I know Christopher has already approved that. So let's see if we can come to a consensus on this. We're going to offer to the ones that receive the $200 card, we will contact them and offer them an additional $50 card to come back and get it. They don't need to qualify this, they're already qualified, okay? Then we put out the additional, is it still gonna be 308? Yeah.
Let me do a real quick calculation here.
I have an interesting suggestion, actually.
It'll be less than 308 cards because we're gonna take.
Correct. I have an interesting suggestion if you would.
Go ahead.
What's the final day that we have to get rid of these cards?
December 30, right?
30.
December 30, right?
December 30th.
So, okay, so what
We
is,
gotta have the expense already encumbered. We have to have the affidavits in-house, so there's really not a whole lot of time. We've got 6 or 7 working days, if you would, with the holidays and everything for this program. I talked to Evelyn and the staff is ready to go in terms of coming in, and we'll have to pay them overtime, but it's very much doable.
You know what, by the way, we also can just drop it down to 200. Okay? And those that received one cannot come and receive another one. And there's $200 cards for however many come and pick it up. We can do that too.
So many. What is that? We can use the money.
We can do that too. I mean,
yeah, no, I see what you're saying. I think it's, I'm sort of between both of you. I think I don't think there's that many more people. I just think there might be more people. So I would be in favor of putting it to 50, letting the people come in and get the extra $50. But
I'm fine with that too.
I think that gap from 308 to 380 or a little less, I think that's a good amount of people I would expect to come in extra.
So let me give you some revised money so you can make the best decision that you can here, given the monies that are available for this. If you increase the program by $50 for those that have already received the $200 Publix gift cards, and you increase it by $50, we'll be spending $8,250. That'll leave you with a pot of $68,750, and if you divide that into $250, you'll have enough to accommodate 275 applicants.
I think that's a good range.
Okay.
I think that's a good range. I would be in favor of that. So if you want to put a straw vote on that, I would.
But happy we don't have 207 people applying. We lose the money.
True.
Yes.
We lose the money.
That's a good point, because we do have to have this in by December 30th.
Which poison you want to take?
I mean,
it's sort of tough because we don't have any.
we're trying to do a very good thing here, and it's becoming difficult.
Yeah,
But you're having, with all due respect, you're having guesstimates. You can't have more than that. You're dealing with an unknown. And the other factor that no one has mentioned is more than likely, in my opinion, that as we move past January 20th, one of the items, if not previous to that, is going to be some care package, just to use a name, not that it's the same program. And if there's a compromise, it may give you more money. On the other hand, if it doesn't give you more money, I am positive that during 2021, you're going to see, based on the COVID numbers, based on the economy, based on unemployment, you are definitely going to see another care package down the line. There is no way that the federal government is not going to act, notwithstanding what may or may not happen in the 2 Georgia senator seats.
I have to say, I know it's totally out of procedure, but I really do enjoy having Elliot back.
I know, right? I know. I know, so do I. Let me ask a question, and I don't know if this is even possible. To Commissioner Blanca's point, if we don't get the applicants, you know, to use all this money or these cards,
We lose the money.
can we take the unused money and reallocate it
No,
No,
to the water
no,
credit?
no.
no.
We lose-
I don't believe at this point we can, because there was a window of time for us to do that.
My question, okay, answer my question. Well, folks, we gotta come up with a decision. Commissioner Blanes, Commissioner Suarez,
Yes,
please join this discussion because we need to come up with a decision before we leave here today.
I need marching orders.
Exactly, so we can't leave, we can't.
And another, if I may, Madam Mayor, something that I would like to also submit for your consideration. If we are unable, because of the timeline here, to go and purchase a major credit card because of the timing, do we go back to the Publix cards?
but Yolanda,
The Vice Mayor said that early on, yes.
Mayor,
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Suarez, Commissioner.
Mayor, we have a problem here. The essence of this item is that December 30. We have to do something today.
I know, that's what I'm saying. What do you have anything to say? Because
What if we increase the amount more?
increase the amount of the card
Yeah.
more?
What if we increase the amount to 300, which lowers the amount of additional applicants, and then obviously the people.
And they
who
give
already have
additional
it-
$100 card?
Correct.
All right, Madam
That
Manager,
way,
if we
Yeah,
increase
people will come in.
the new cards to 300 and then provide an additional $100 card to those that receive the 200, where do we at?
We lose money.
If we increase the cards to 300,
And then issue a $100 card to those applicants that receive the $200 card.
give me 1 second. Evelyn, you said it was 165?
No,
You're going to cut down the number of people.
We will lose money.
161, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, say that again?
161 cards were issued and received.
Give me 1 second.
My view is you give it out as much as you can to as many people,
Otherwise, we-
whether they receive before or not. The need has increased whether they receive before or not.
Minus.
And there will be future care plans. You do the best you can.
It's in a city of nothing.
You're not going to have the perfect answer. It's
we
impossible.
lose money.
Give me 1 second. I'm doing some numbers. All right.
And then-
So if we increase to previous recipients, okay, the allocation and give them $100 more, that totals $16,100 based on the number of cards we gave out. So we have a pot then of $60,900. If you divide that into $300 cards, you are able to reach 203 families.
Either way, you're going to have an upset. And I would do the best I can, the most people I can, at the highest amount I can. Forget about this is the second round, because there's going to be a third round and a fourth round as this goes on.
How many families coming to apply?
Okay, Vice Mayor, I know you had some concerns with just opening it up.
I did only because, you know, you look at the amount of residents we now have, right? And what are we at, close to 9,000
I'm
residents?
sorry,
We're close to 9,000
Like
residents.
9,000 total residents?
8,200?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to imagine that there's at least 200 people more that could use the cards.
But they don't come and apply. I call a lot of my residents and they say they are not coming to apply.
Yeah, a lot of people I
They don't
talked
even
to, the
want to.
majority said they didn't need need it and they wanted to
And
need
they
it.
didn't want to come.
That was my
Well, if it's the
response.
will of the commission to open it up, I'm not opposed to
No,
it.
I-
I'm just trying to make sure that it's,
They don't
I'm not
want
opposed to it.
That's
I'm not
not what
opposed
they did.
I'm not opposed to it either.
Me neither, but I saw people and they didn't want to come.
I hate to keep saying this, guys, we gotta come up with it, we gotta come up with a decision here.
People
So
decide.
we open it up entirely and everyone can come and apply, even those that have got it already,
all right, I bet it at 200,
at 200,
at 200.
okay? We open it up, everyone can come,
People who worry about.
every resident can come, irregardless if you got one already.
And Madam Manager, you're positive that there was no issue with that second, with,
No, I didn't say that. I would have to find out whether that people can reapply. I don't know that.
Oh, we don't even know that yet.
No.
Okay.
You think you'd be able, you get that answer today?
I can, if you want to make a motion to
I guess
entertain that.
We put out two scenarios. We can say pending approval by the gods that be, whoever's gonna give you approval.
Right,
We open it up and everyone can come and apply for a $200 card, even if you've already got one.
right.
Now,
Motion to approve that.
if if Haggerty or whomever says we cannot issue a second card to a household, then which route do you want to go? What's going to be Plan B?
So Plan B is whether if you can issue a second full round, whether you can issue an additional like the $50 or $100
To equal.
equal out, and if you can't do that, then just go with the program where you had, right? I mean, obviously that's, if she can't issue either a second round to people who already had it, or to equalize the new round and the older round, then just go with the program at I don't know, at 250 or 300 to try to get as much money out there as possible.
Yes.
Okay.
You follow? Madam Manager?
Yes, we have an eight. We have a
Okay,
plan.
so option one would be open it up for everyone, this irrespective of whether they applied for Publix or not, which would give us 300. Well, the amount has to be determined. $200. If you use $200, give me 1 second. Let me do my math here. Okay, that's $77,000. That's the exact amount of money that we have in that category left. So if you give,
$200 cards.
right, and that includes the assumption of the previous applicants to come forward and apply for this, if we are allowed to do this way, okay, which I will check today. That would be your first motion, your preference, if you would, your
Okay,
first.
all right.
How many cards is that? How many cards does that equate to, Madam Manager?
385
Okay, thank you.
cards
Okay,
at
go.
$200.
All right, go ahead. That's option A. Upon
Right.
approval from Haggerty. Okay.
Right.
Option B, go.
Option B would be lowering the amount for new applications and increasing the amount to make it equal to the previous applicants, correct? Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then you would have 161 applications times $50 is $8,050, and then you would subtract that. Okay, so that lowers your pool to 350 new applications for an amount of $200. So that you can keep, I'm sorry, 200, sorry, give me a second.
$250.
Yes, I'm sorry, my mistake.
Should be 308 cards.
308, exactly.
Okay.
And then the final option is
All
just.
right, that's option B. All right, we got an A, we got a B. I don't think we need a C, do we?
A C is if she cannot give out the new, the additional it's to the people who applied at the beginning. Option C would just be to, I guess it was something like.
No, we're not giving them additional money. It's still equalizing the amount of money.
Right, the additional from what they had, because they do have to probably, do you think they'll have to submit?
They don't have to
second
come and
application?
reapply, Vice Mayor, because they've already qualified. So we'd like to have to fill out a new application.
Can you take a 5-minute break and I will contact, I'll
Mayor.
reach out to Haggerty
Hello,
and find
hello.
out right now.
Hello,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes, Commissioner?
I have to be excused. I have very important business appointment, 12 o'clock. I cannot be all the morning in the meeting. I'm sorry.
Take a 5-minute break.
I have to go.
Okay, we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Wow.
Without being disrespectful.
Absolutely, you never are, so go ahead.
No, I am.
We're on break, we're on break.
No, without being
We're on break.
disrespectful. Number one, I heard a number of repetition in terms of proposals and thoughts. I certainly was pleased with Vice Mayor and other initially participating and giving their input and forcing everybody to think. But I gotta tell you, in a business world, it doesn't take this long. You got the devil in the details, and there are only two issues. Do we want to get as much money out and not leave any on the table? I think everybody agrees,
That's
yes.
the ultimate. We don't want to
Okay.
get into
The second thing is to get involved with who received before. To me, that's nonsense. You know,
Well, that's what she's checking
whoever
out.
didn't get to begin with was for lack of application, either through lack of knowledge or lack of need. I would assume, okay? So I wouldn't even deal with the previous. The reason that is, like I said, this is number 2, you're gonna go to number 3 and number 4 before you're ever there. So you can't go, oh, I wanna equalize what happened in 1917 or 2004 or whatever. You got the here and now. The objective is to get as much money out within your available sources to as many people as you can. Now, your problem is, do you want 300, which is more money, okay,
And less cards.
and less people? Or do you want 200, which is more
And more
people,
cards.
and then you got the
Right.
middle figure?
Right.
The fact is, let's not kid ourselves, no matter what you decide, this is a short-term Band-Aid.
Absolutely.
People are gonna suffer and suffer and suffer. I personally believe this will not turn around until 2021, okay? If one wants to talk about the unknowns about the vaccine and the resistance to taking it, and there is not knowledge yet as to how many people are gonna have sustained immunity. So this is not something that is going away. I would remind the commission that I was one during the 2007 recession that predicted it would last 5 years before you bounce back. So you can't have the ideals and the thoughts are beautiful. You're all on the same mind, but you got to move. You know, something needs to be done.
Agreed.
And you're really under a really tight time
Yep.
constraint.
That's the problem.
No, that's not the problem, because I got news for you. With this commission, not today, because I don't know today, okay? But with this commission over the years, you'd face the same kind of conversations in 25, 26, 27, an hour and a half of rediscussion, which you pointed out twice, that we already discussed that, okay? And I commend you, okay? But people drift back, people forget, and then they have their agendas, which I don't mind, because everybody is well-meaning. But you can't satisfy all the people all the time. You do the best you can, and you do it as quickly as you can. Me personally, the most people possible, I probably would go with the 250 number as opposed to 300. Me personally, was my business, and I was making this decision. I made a decision for my business, which in October, everybody heard, None of my places are getting rent increases during 2021 or no increases of fees. Now, there was discussion. Does that mean I'm going to make less money? Absolutely. Okay. Can I absorb it? Absolutely. Do I know what's going to happen and what I'm going to do the following year? No, I'm going to wait and see things as they develop. And I'm not going to remember or be obligated that because I did something in 2020, that I have to do the exact same thing in 2020, the end for 2022. It's not going to be in my mind. I'm going to look at what I believe is necessary, what I believe is right, what I believe I can legitimately afford, which means taking X amount of loss, okay? No doubt about it. But that's what's being done. So I can look in the mirror and say I tried and did my best. That's where you all have to be. And forgive yourself if you don't wind up being 100% successful. Learn from it.
Yes, I think she might be ready. Let's do this. You know what I lost the picture you sent me? You know the one. I think the one that I lost the picture.
Ah, I love you.
Mayor, I'm ready.
Me more. I'm going out for some nicotine, excuse me.
Okay, sir, we'll be here. We'll finish this up quickly, hopefully. All right. Let's see, I need,
Let's go, please.
as soon as I get Commissioner Blanes back, we'll proceed because I do not believe Commissioner Suarez, oh, there you are. Okay, and
I think he said he was.
I don't believe Commissioner Suarez is coming back, but I do have quorum, so we'll proceed. Okay, calling the meeting back to order. Madam Manager, what do you have for us?
Thank you. I just spoke to Andre McIntosh over at Haggerty, and he said we have the ability to design our own program. So if we want to be fair, and reach as many people as possible, and I assure you that this round is going to be more popular than the first round. If you want my opinion, I'm more than happy to give it to you.
Okay.
I say we stick to the $200 major credit card. If we're able to acquire them, if not, we go with another round of Publix. I
Okay,
say we stick to $200 and you reach 385 people or families in the community. I think that would be your best option.
and those that,
You have Elliott back, so the people in the trailer park that are needy are going to be applying for this.
yes,
You know,
and there's
hopefully
on those that receive, they can receive again, correct?
there are no prohibitions. So
That's
if
it.
you applied for a public card, Publix, that does not preclude you from reapplying.
Now, they do have to come and reapply. They do have to come and reapply. This is a new
Yes,
program.
they do. Yes,
Okay,
they
so-
do.
All
Yes,
right.
they do.
Just to summarize, we'll be giving out $200 either credit cards or Publix gift cards. We'll have 385 cards available. City of West Miami residents must come and sign the affidavit and or apply for the card.
Again,
Again, yes, this is a brand new program. Open it up to all City of West Miami residents. $200 either credit, gift card or Publix card. And this will, then Madam Manager, you'll determine the days for them to come and apply, and then the days that we'll be handing them out, and you'll
Yes.
put them out, correct?
Yes, and I will work with Evelyn and her staff, and hopefully we can get this started very, very soon. We've got to make a minor modification to the form if we're going to go with a major credit card. Otherwise, we're going to stick to our form if we are unable to purchase the Visa cards.
And Madam Manager, you will make that decision today.
Yes,
Today, if we
I
can't do
have
it,
to. There's just no more time.
if we can't do Visa at the end of today, it's Publix.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, that's what I would recommend, given the nature of the timing involved here.
We're done. Okay, all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
All right.
Okay. We're
Thank
done.
you.
Next, I thank you, Madam Manager, for checking on that, and hearing all our discussion. Okay.
Thank you.
Next item, please.
Item 12, consent agenda items. There are 2 items on the agenda, Madam Mayor.
Okay, I do want to pull these for discussion. Vice Mayor, if I may. Somebody remind me, I know I'm getting up in age, but if my memory serves me correct, at the last meeting, we all agreed that we didn't need a resolution to go back to 7:30. And I thought that's how we left it, so I was a little surprised to see this on here. And then, Mr. Attorney, I'm gonna direct the second part of this to. Oh. All right, well, I need my city attorney back because I do have a question for him.
I'll answer your first part.
Okay, go ahead.
And I put it on the consent agenda. I requested that the clerk put on the consent agenda because we had come to an agreement at the last meeting. But this is simply housekeeping. This is simply taking the written rule that was put in 1983 and updating the latest rules of procedure. It's simply a housekeeping resolution.
But I'm confused because it's already there. So what are we housekeeping?
It's not on the latest resolution. It's on, the last time the meeting time was talked about is 1983. The 2004 resolution that sets out the total document. It didn't transfer over that provision. So it's just housekeeping to get everything in one document.
This resolution you're talking about, 2.2004.02. What is that?
That is a rules of procedure. So it sets out the agenda, the agenda order that we followed, which was amended in 2012 and 2019. The last amendment we had to it was when you changed the good and welfare.
But we didn't do that by resolution.
Sorry.
We didn't do that by resolution.
Sorry. Yeah, we did do a resolution. It wasn't earlier. It was public comments.
The meeting time putting it to 10 temporarily was not done by resolution.
No, but I still say that. I mean, I don't think that was within the rules, but I made that clear throughout.
You did.
But
Yeah, what was there? Oh, Mr. Attorney. Okay, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor, because this has something to do with this. Mr. Attorney, we're discussing the consent agenda item A, the resolution, and if I'm remembering correctly, we decided a while back, unanimously, that we would discuss whatever we wanted you to do a resolution on. We would discuss it before we asked you to prepare a resolution. So I'm wondering when that changed, why you prepared a resolution without discussion. Because if I remember correctly, we all agreed that procedurally that we would discuss an item before we asked you to write a resolution on it.
on an ordinance.
So what changed here that you issued a resolution that we didn't discuss? You're muted, sir.
With all due respect, Madam Mayor, either way, it's no big deal, and I personally would oblige the concerns, legally speaking, with a legal mind, dotting i's and t's, with the Vice Mayor's term of house cleaning.
Sure.
I don't see where it is a major inconvenience or a major disruption, no matter what was decided in the past or how unanimously by one vote or whatever. Move forward.
We are. Let me hear from my attorney, because what I'm asking him now.
What you're asking him is, why is this in front of you, where there was no consideration of getting the attorney's opinion as protocol previously? And I understand the sensitivity. I don't like breaking protocol, but the bottom line is I don't see where it makes a hell of a lot of difference.
It doesn't, but I'm just wondering
I'm just stating my view.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Attorney? Thank you, Elliot. Thank you. Mr. Attorney?
We had discussed before the issue that the commission should bring out the issues that they wanted to come forward to the commission, but that was not a resolution. That was an agreement that was have been done. A commissioner or any commissioner has the right to present whatever resolution they want.
No, agreed. I agree, but I'm sorry, I agree. But again, this can be housekeeping for me too. We all voted on and decided we would discuss it before asking you to prepare a resolution. So I'm not,
So
I'm just, it's just.
you really
My understanding of this resolution is reaffirming something that is already in the books.
Yeah, I'm talking about something else. I'm talking about preparing the resolution. You issued you were asked to issue a resolution, and you obviously did because it's in front of me. And we didn't discuss it. Before we ask you to issue a resolution, we have in the past discussed it, so as not to create more work for you. So, did you issue this resolution, sir?
If I'm sorry,
No,
Mr. Attorney, if I may, the clerk sent an email to all of us saying that there was 2 competing resolutions. One of the resolutions was your resolution to change the meeting time to 10 a.m. Did you talk about it at the table before you asked the attorney to prepare that resolution?
That resolution didn't come on the agenda.
But he prepared it.
It didn't come on the agenda.
But he prepared it. What was it?
Mr. Attorney, did you issue this resolution, sir?
I think you ought to move forward.
Mr. Attorney?
I'm sorry, I'm lost there. What is the question?
Consent agenda item A. Did you issue that resolution?
Yes,
You prepared that resolution?
I prepared the resolution upon the request of the one of the commissioners. Yes.
Which he's entitled to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Oh, wow. I need to move to the podium. My laptop just died. My laptop just died. I need to move to the podium. Hold on.
Mayor, I believe you're frozen.
Yeah, no, I died. No, my laptop died. I'm at the podium now. I'm still chairing the meeting back on the podium. Mr. Q told me I should have plugged it in and I didn't. Okay, so, all right, all in favor of consent agenda item A?
One thing is agenda and 4, if
I'm sorry?
you want to take the agenda as one item or both items.
We'll take it as both. Okay. All in favor of consent agenda item A and B?
For Madam Mayor,
Is there a motion?
I'm sorry, we need a motion and second and a vote to approve all the items. Of if you want to pull an item and vote on it separately, you can do so. But if you are voting for all the consent agenda items, we need a motion, second, and a vote.
Okay, so I did pull it. We discussed it. Now we're going to vote on both of them together. So I need a
motion. We need a motion, Madam Mayor.
A motion to approve the agenda.
I have a motion from Vice Mayor. I need a second. Call the vote.
Second by Commissioner Blanes, okay?
Yeah. Vote.
Okay, vote. Commissioner Blanca, how do you vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Blanes?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Diaz-Padrón?
Yes.
Mayor Rodriguez?
Yes.
4-0, item passes. Thank you.
Item.
Item 13, good of the order?
Anyone for good of the order? No one in that case?
Madam Mayor?
Merry
Madam
Christmas.
Mayor.
Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays to everyone. Go ahead, manager.
Thank you. Thank you for entertaining. I have a question for you. Following the hybrid model for commission meetings that we are keeping, is it your desire to continue having staff moving forward for the upcoming first few months, at least until the orders change with the pandemic? Is it your desire to have staff on Zoom, or is it your preference to have staff attending commission meetings?
Will we have the partitions up?
Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will.
my opinion, but I'll let the table opine. My opinion, if we have the partitions up, then we all come back to chambers. But I would love to hear from the rest of my commission on that.
Thank you.
I would like to take it as January is worse than it is now. I think we can take by ear. That's not something that's.
So we'll discuss this at the January meeting.
Right.
Okay,
January meeting will be as it is today, 3 of us in the chamber, everybody else on Zoom, and we will discuss this again at every meeting going forward. Okay?
Madam Clerk, please leave that on the agenda so that we don't lose sight of that.
Yes, a discussion item regarding the methodology or who is attending on what form for the following meetings.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
Well, Doctor, can I,
Who's talking?
Pena,
Oh,
Pepe.
Mr. Pena.
no, Pepe.
Oh, he's on the phone. Okay, I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Meeting's adjourned. Give me my
thank
laptop.
you. Thank
Give me
you.
my laptop right on me.